happening, Hardwood Nation? Welcome to episode 3 of Hardwood Heroes. I'm your host, Sean Neidig. The snow may have wiped out some of the games this past week, but it certainly didn't put our show on ice. Cozy up with some hot chocolate and a blanket because for the next half hour, our reporters will give you everything that you need to know about your favorite TVC teams. So without wasting any more time, let's tip it off. Let's start off the show by looking at where our teams sit at this point in the season. The Waterford Lady Wildcats are still undefeated at 11-0 in the Hawking, and the Eastern Lady Eagles are having the kind of season that they're used to and are right behind with a 10-2 conference record. In the Ohio, the NY Lady Buckeyes aren't undefeated, but they are the next best thing with only one loss. The Lady Vikings and Lady Spartans are right behind on their heels, though, so for the next few weeks, these games will be crucial. The Athens Lady Bulldogs continue to prove that they're in a rebuilding year and are only one spot above last place. And now taking a look at the boys in the Hawking, the Trimble Tomcats are still in first place, but share a 7-1 record with the Waterford Wildcats. The Eastern Eagles are also moving their way up the standings towards the middle of the pack. And in the Ohio, 3 teams are fighting for second place behind the undefeated Vinton County Vikings. Athens, Alexander, and Meigs will all have to play their best basketball to close out the season if they want to catch those Vikings. And with so many changes in the rankings, it's hard to keep track of everything. Luckily, I have my 2 online hosts, Danny Dean and Josh Gregory, to help me out.
It sure has been a crazy week, Sean, and it's kept our reporters pretty busy as well.
That's right. Our show is packed with a lot of TVC action from the week. Starting it off, we have Duncan Goldberg talking Trimble basketball. The boys lost big to an average Wahama team, and the girls suffered a loss to Southern. Up next, Clark Woolley will give you a look at the Lady Marauders, or should I say the Lady Minions. The girls have been calling themselves the Meigs Minions due to the team's lack of height. And Jordan Gallagher will recap the boys' big loss to Vinton County.
Stick with us. NY expert Matt Cudahy will give you your weekly dose of Buckeye basketball. The boys finally snapped their 10-game losing streak, and the girls still sit atop the TVC Ohio. Afterwards, Alexander reporters Joseph Payton and Maggie Shandrick will give you your Spartan news. Both teams are battling for that second spot in the TVC Ohio.
On to the boys in MacArthur. Matt Stevens will give you Vinton County's secrets to success. The boys clinched the top spot after beating Meigs. And don't change the channel. Eastern reporter Joe Fracasso is bringing back our fast breakdown segment. He'll give you an in-depth look at the Eagles' offense.
And later on, Athens reporter Megan Vanslow will bring you up to speed on Bulldog basketball. The pieces are finally falling together for the boys, and the girls won back-to-back for the first time this season. And before our time ends, Rachel Walbrown dishes out the improvements of the Lady Lancers and the lack of improvement for the guys.
And stay tuned for our favorite part of the show when we announce our Heroes of the Week. And just as the competition is getting harder, so is our job. But we are excited to announce our picks this week.
I know that you guys have been struggling over that. I can't wait to see who you guys chose. Last week, the Trimble Tomcats were undefeated in conference play and took down top-ranked Waterford. Duncan Goldberg joins me now at the desk. And unlike last week, this was a rough one for the guys out in Gloucester.
Well, Sean, going into this week, those Tomcats were sitting pretty as they had been ranked the highest they had been all year long. But being ranked 7th in Division 4 wasn't that good of a thing for those Tomcats. It was more of a target sign on their back. And, well, the Wahama White Falcons hit the bullseye. Now, going into this game, the White Falcons were 4-5 on the season, and they were still trying to find their groove. And man, did they find it, as they were able to take down Trimble 82-81 in overtime. Wahama was hotter than a wildfire in this one, as they went 7 for 7 from the three-point line in the first half. They would end up finishing the game for 10-14 from behind the arc. The Tomcats were pressing Wahama all game long, which was causing a lot of turnovers. It also led to wide open shots for the White Falcons that they would end up cashing in on. The other reason why the Tomcats lost this game is because they were never able to grab momentum and take control. Wahama was always able to find a way back into the game. To look at the brighter side of things, though, the Tomcats shot over 58% from the field. Even though the Tomcats' defense was struggling, their offense didn't skip a beat. The Tomcats were hoping to redeem their loss on Friday, but because of the snowstorm, their game with Belpre had to be rescheduled to February 13th.
So this was clearly a tough week for the Tomcats, but it didn't go much better for the ladies.
Oh, spot on, Sean. These ladies Tomcats were really hot going into this week, and they were winners of 3 straight games. They had a big showdown with the Southern Lady Tornadoes, but the Lady Tomcats just didn't get the result they were looking for. Trimble ended up losing the game 34-26 in a defensive struggle. Both teams were extremely sloppy with the basketball as there were over 45 total turnovers. After the first quarter, it looked like the Lady Tomcats were the better team as they held the Lady Tornadoes to only 3 points. But going into half, Southern had only 11 points total, and they all came from point guard Allie Deem. But the second half was a different story because the Lady Tornadoes outscored the Lady Tomcats 23-12. One of the big problems in this one was the fact that Nikki Kish was completely shut down. She had only 2 points, which came with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in the contest.
So that was certainly a week to forget for the Lady Tomcats. Duncan, we'll see if they can get back to their winning ways next week. For up-to-the-minute coverage of your favorite TVC team, the Hardwood Heroes Twitter account is the only place to go. Follow us at Hardwood Heroes and on my personal host account at @HHost_Sean and use the hashtag TVC Heroes and hashtag HOTW throughout the week to give us your thoughts on TVC basketball. You can also tweet at us during the show. Now, Megs reporter Clark Woolley is joining me on the desk. We're going to talk about the Lady Marauders and what they've done to change the mentality out in Pomeroy.
Yeah, Sean, the Lady Marauders are one of the smallest teams in all of TVC Ohio. But what they lack in size, they certainly make up for in tenacity. And they're finding this inspiration from an unusual character.
You got some teams, like River Valley had 3 girls that were 6 foot. We out-rebounded them 2-1. And it was because it was in the mentality. Use what God gave you, not what you don't have.
In the summer of 2015, Scott Cleland was hired to be the coach of the Megs Lady Marauders. And when he first saw his team, only one word came to mind.
So I look around, there's nobody over 5'4". And I said, what do you got, all minions? And then that week, the movie The Minions came out. So it became a running joke where they're just minions. Every time you run around, there's the minions. So. And of course, we're yellow, and gold, so minions are yellow. So all of a sudden, it just started exploding from there.
The Minion mentality, as the team calls it, has not only brought better play, but better camaraderie as a team, on and off the court.
Once we're on the court, that's all that we're about, and that's how we fight through everything. And even off the court, we stay together and we call each other minions about it. And once we get on the court, then we go after it so hard. When Coach yells minions, go minions, or we talk about the Minion Bowl because we're short, but we can still get after it no matter what.
Coach Cleland has noticed just how similar his team is to the Minions that you see on TV.
Minions are always, they always find a solution to the problem. They always work together. They're funny, they're smart alecks, they work hard, they stick together. And you mess with one, you're messing with all of them. And that's the way these girls are. You mess with one, you got 13 of them you got to mess with.
Despite the Marauders being the Megs mascot, this year, the Minion has taken its place.
I haven't heard much of the Marauders, actually. It's more the Minions.
Now, Coach Cleveland even went as far as decorating the entire locker room in Minions decorations. Sean, it's safe to say Minion Mania has taken over in Pomeroy.
It certainly has, Clark. Now, the Minions, they only had one game this week, but it was against the top-seeded Lady Buckeyes, so how did this one turn out?
Yeah, it was another tough loss for the Lady Marauders that they fell at the hands of the top-seeded Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes 76-35 on Thursday night. Megs is currently enduring its toughest stretch of the season, facing the top 3 teams in the conference in its last 3 games. However, I think these games will serve as a learning curve for this young Lady Marauder team, and they will bounce back stronger than ever.
Yeah, it's difficult to find a stretch of games that's going to be tougher than that, Clark, so we'll see if they can scrap their way back to a few victories next week. After losing to Alexander last week, the Megs Marauders' firm hold on the conference became just a little looser and set the stage for the biggest game of the year in the TVC Ohio. Now, Megs reporter Jordan Gallagher is here, and we're going to break down what happened in that contest.
Yeah, you can bet this was a huge game, Sean. And fans, well, they had to wait an extra week to see it. The big key for Megs coming into this game was rebounds.
Went to the 3-2 zone because we felt like it would give us better rebounding. Alexander killed us the other night on the boards. I think it did give us better rebounding.
While Megs rebounding did improve, the rest of their game did not. The Marauders shot just 1 for 14 from the outside, including 0 for 4 from star Caleb Sheets. The Marauders struggle when they fail to hit shots from beyond the arc, and it was no different against the Vikings. On top of that, the Marauders could not hang on to the ball as all 8 players who saw time had at least 1 turnover. And when you don't have the ball, you can't win. On the defensive side, the Marauders' 3-2 zone was unable to stand up to Vinton County as Megs could not stop Tristan Bartow and Nayland Yates, who continually beat them on the perimeter, giving the Vikings easy shots. The loss to Vinton has set the stage for an even bigger game against Athens, as the loss means a potential fall down to 4th place. However, because of this snow, the fans from Megs are going to have to suffer the waiting process once again. But if they show out the way they did against Vinton, it shouldn't be any problem.
That's definitely going to be a game worth waiting for. Thanks, Jordan. And I know that all of us here at Hardwood Heroes want you guys to check us out on the internet. And that's right, well, our shows are only on TV twice. Full episodes are available on demand at woub.org/heroes. You can also find recaps from every game our crews go to throughout the week. So if you are never in the dark about your favorite TVC teams and the rest of the conference as well. Another week is down, and the Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes remain on top of the TVC Ohio. And my reporter Matt Cuddy here is here. We're going to talk some Buckeye basketball. Now, I've got to ask you, Matt, is there any signs of this team slowing down?
In my opinion, Sean, the Buckeyes are playing some of their best basketball of the season. As long as Jesse Addis is running point, I think this team's going to be all right. The standout sophomore point guard has become one of the best players we cover. After a rare off game against Vinton County and a tough non-conference loss to Midland, she bounced right back to her usual form, pouring in 20 points while also nabbing 3 steals against the Megs Lady Marauders in a 77-35 win.
So if this team wants to remain atop the division, Addis won't be able to do it alone. So who else do you think could step up during this stretch?
So many names come to mind, Sean. Tori Campbell, Hannah Taylor, and Cameron Duper are all viable options, but I'm going to go with reigning All-Hero team member Caitlin Hurd. She struggled to find her game early on in the year. However, recently she's started to regain her stride, most notably in that huge win against Vinton County. If she can continue to dominate in the paint on the offensive and defensive ends, then this team becomes all the more dangerous. And now looking to next Thursday, NY is going to need her to play big in that important game against Alexander.
So speaking of the Lady Spartans, NY must have that game circled on their schedule.
Not exactly. The Lady Buckeyes are just taking it one game at a time right now. Coach Whiteman stressed that the main focus is the team's next opponent, which happens to be the Wellston Lady Golden Rockets.
Yeah, so the NY boys, their season has been a far cry from the girls, but you know, they did end that 10-game losing streak on Tuesday. They beat Liberty Union 46-43. So do you think that they'll be able to build off of that win coming up to the end of the season?
I want to stay hopeful, Sean. I was talking to Coach Klein. He was telling me in the game against Liberty Union, the team excelled in 2 very important aspects, and that's defense and rebounding the ball. Now they have 6 remaining TVC Ohio games. The remaining 6 opponents, NY is 1-5 against them in the previous matchups, getting blown out by Alexander, Megs, and Athens. So I have a tough time believing that the Buckeyes will be able to pull off any upsets, but if they continue to play tough defense and maintain that presence in the paint, NY is going to be looking to finish right about 7-14, which they finished at last year.
Yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye on both of those Buckeye squads. Thanks, Matt. I told you earlier that all of our episodes are online forever, but the content on our Snapchat only lasts for 24 hours. Look us up under the username Hardwood Heroes to see our reporters out at games and shots from our studio. You can also send us your snap, and maybe they will be featured on our show. We know that they love their basketball out in Albany, and here with me to talk about those 2 Spartan squads, Joseph Payton and Maggie Shandrick. Guys, the girls have lost 2 of their last 3, so should Spartans fans be worried?
Oh, no, Sean. Certainly no reason to hit the panic button, as those losses came against 2 #1 ranked teams.
On the 16th, they fell 57-50 to the #1 ranked team in West Virginia, the Huntington Highlanders, and then turned around and hosted Waterford, the #1 ranked team in Division 4 on Monday.
That they did, Maggie, and Waterford showed why they're worthy of that #1 spot in the polls. Waterford's Danny Dreher led the team with 17 points in the 65-50 win over the Lady Spartans, while also dishing out 5 assists. And Alexander didn't play well as they turned the ball over 12 times, but Rachel Richardson, she was one bright spot for them. The freshman guard played with no fear. She led all scorers with 26 points and 3 rebounds. And you know, Maggie, that performance really says a lot about a player with minimal varsity basketball experience.
It definitely says a lot, and she wasn't finished yet. Richardson's hot hand continued against River Valley on Thursday night as she shot 8 of 12 from the field, finishing with 20 points. She helped Alexander come away with a 56-20 victory, ending their 2-game losing streak. Richardson, she's just a freshman, and she's really starting to understand how to play at this level.
She had a pretty rough game about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and ever since then she's understood what it really takes to be a varsity basketball player.
It's always fun to see young players making a big impact in their first year, but what about the Richardson on the boys squad?
Well, Sean, the boys beat Crooksville 59-46 on Tuesday, and Seth Richardson was the reason why. Richardson had 22 points while knocking down 2 3-pointers against the Ceramics.
Yeah, that's right, and 9 of those points came in the 4th quarter, and Alexander only held a 5-point lead after the 3rd, so that really helped them clinch the win.
The boys are scheduled to play Friday night against Vinton County, but of course, due to that snowfall last night, that game has been postponed. Now they take on River Valley Tuesday night, a team they beat 63-21 in December.
That's right, and with the Spartans on a 4-game winning streak, the last loss came to Chesapeake on January 9th. Look for them to keep the train rolling against the Raiders.
I'm sure Coach Kearns and his boys will want to stay warm over the weekend to head into that Tuesday game. Thanks, guys. Vinton County had a huge game this week in a first-place showdown with Megs. So now I'm joined by Vinton County reporter Matt Stevens. And how did the Vikings manage to take care of business this week?
Well, Sean, the Vikings had a tough test this week as they open up their week on the road against Megs. And as Jordan said, it was a great showing for the Marauders. But Vinton County displayed a stellar passing performance in their 73-54 victory. The passing game established great ball movement for the Vikings, and boy, did they take advantage of it. The ball movement allowed for not one, not two, but 5 players in double-digit scoring in the contest. Defensively, Vinton County read every book on the Megs offense. The Marauders looked dysfunctional on offense, and that was due in large part to the Vikings pushing the ball with countless fast break opportunities. Megs simply looked tired by the fourth quarter, and Sean, that is when the Vikings took the air out of the basketball.
So this win was huge for the boys in MacArthur. And Matt, how good is this Vikings team?
Sean, I don't think this team is good. That would be an understatement. They are great. They have size, athleticism, and they play fundamental team basketball on both sides of the ball. I'm not alone in my logic either. The Associated Press has Vinton County ranked 6th in the state among Division II teams this week, and I am buying every bit of that stock. The high-powered offense for Vinton County is a force in the TVC. It's remarkable how they managed to get so many players on the scoreboard while still being able to get back down court and play solid Vinton County defense. I mean, Sean, I don't know about you, but I would not want to have to match up with Chase Wood and have to drive the lane on him.
Yeah, so the boys they're certainly on a roll, and the Lady Vikings, they had the week off following their only game being canceled. So what should we look forward to for the Lady Vikings?
I mean, Sean, the Lady Vikings will be hungry for redemption this week. The last game they played was in their rough contest with Nelsonville York. These girls are not happy, and they will surely take out their frustrations this week on Megs and Minford. Expect big things from Michaela Puckett and Jalen Hale on the low block. However, it will be a tough test moving forward for the Lady Vikings as they lost to NY last week, and that will make it very difficult in the race for the top spot in the TVC. With this rest, they will likely gain from this week. I'm very confident, Sean, that they will make it interesting moving forward, and as they just need a little help from their friends in the TVC and whoever basically plays the Lady Spartans and the Lady Buckeyes.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a wild finish. Thanks, Matt. We're a little more than halfway through our show, so here's a sneak peek at what's ahead. First, Joe Fracasso will join me in our first Fast Breakdown segment of the season and analyze the Eastern Eagles' newfound success. We'll also talk to Megan Banslow about the Athens Bulldogs, and Rachel Walbrown has the scoop on Federal Hawking. Finally, we have 2 unveilings. First, I'll show you our tweet of the week, and Danny and Josh will rejoin this show to announce their heroes of the week. Riding a 3-game winning streak, the Eastern Eagles came into Tuesday night's matchup very confident. Now I'm on the side set, joined by Eastern reporter Joe Fracasso. We're going to break down some of Eastern's play.
That's right, Sean. The Eagles were flying high coming into this game against Belpre. However, this team presented a tricky test as they ran a barrage of different full-court presses. Eastern struggled to deal with those presses in the first half. If you take a look right here at the play, you see Facemeyer starting to bring the ball up. He passes it over to Cam Richmond, who wasn't behind him. Cam starts to dribble, gets into a terrible spot on the court, right in the corner. He gets double-teamed. At this point, Facemeyer has to realize that, start getting back on defense, seeing that the play's going nowhere. However, he doesn't. Dejan Bedgood comes up with the steal and 2 points the other way.
So their offense only mustered 13 points in the first half, but was the defense any better?
To be honest, Sean, not really. Tavion Miller, as the play starts going, is at the top of the key. He's just dribbling, and you could see Ryan Simiet start coming up for Belpre in this play. Dylan Swatzel goes into really no man's land on the court right now, not really guarding anyone. And then you see all this open space in the middle of the court. You could see Simiet start setting up for a backdoor cut. He hits it right there. Dylan Swatzel gets beat on this play. Right now, Ross Keller's got to step up to try to stop that penetration. He's late to rotate over, and once again, another easy 2 points.
So the first half was certainly one to forget for the Eagles, but was the second half any different?
Actually, Sean, completely different ball game. Eastern started to play good defense, and they scored 41 points compared to the 13 points that they scored in the first half. The difference was breaking the press. Facemeyer gets the ball here, and instead you see the adjustments. Cam Richmond behind the ball, quick reverse pass, and now he looks up, sees the triple team coming, sees Chase Curtis right in the corner for the easy cross-court pass right there. Back to Facemeyer. Facemeyer, some say, has a game like Russell Westbrook. However, the Fears comeback wasn't enough for the Eagles in the second half as they failed to get the victory in this one. Coach said a lot of good things to take away from this game. I got to agree with him. The Eagles are playing some of the best basketball of the year. Their game on Friday was canceled against Bahama, however, due to the bad weather. It'll be interesting to see how they play out the rest of the season.
We'll be looking forward to see what the Eagles do. Thanks for breaking it down with us, Joe. I promised it earlier. Now it is time for our Tweet of the Week. Here we have Lady Bulldogs head coach Paul McNeil. Except something tells me that this wasn't really him. It looks like some of his players, the Lady Bulldogs, got their hands on their coach's phone and took this selfie, and I'm sure that he doesn't mind after a big win. So speaking of that win, the Athens girls have mastered all things Wellston recently, tacking on a second W against the Lady Golden Rockets, and the boys are well on their way also, and they haven't lost since January 5th. So Megan Vanslow, she's joining me now on the desk. Megan, what is the good news from just down the road in the Plains?
Tuesday's boys game against New Lexington showed how much the team has grown over the season. 10 different players got on the board, contributing to the 25-point victory. The biggest X factor of the game was none other than Bulldog star Griffin Lutz. However, instead of putting up mad buckets, he focused most on getting the ball to his teammates. Lutz was just 1 assist and 2 rebounds away from a triple-double against the Panthers.
So Athens and Meigs, that game was postponed, but with the 3-team race for second place in the conference, what will Athens need to do to get an edge over Meigs?
If the Bulldogs can pull together their success story of each of their last few games, they should give Meigs a run for their money. With great offensive rebounds and smart outside shots from Nelsonville York, combined with the teamwork and depth of the New Lex game, the force of the Athens offense will awaken. The Athens girls traded in their 8-game losing streak for a 2-game winning streak. They set a goal of scoring 40 points against Wilson and did just that Thursday night. Winning 44-34, they put up a season-high number of points. Although they struggled early, only scoring 4 points in the first quarter, it wasn't until Olive Harder hit a crisp 3 late in the second quarter that gave Athens a lead they never lost.
So that 3 heading into the locker room really gave them a chance to turn everything around.
That's right. In the third quarter, they held Wilson to 7 points and forced many of the eventual 24 turnovers. In the second half, they were smart with the ball and found that control that they have lacked all season. Kate Kurtel dominated the boards and also put up 8 points. Lauren Abdella and Harder both led the team at 9 apiece, but 6 different Lady Bulldogs put up at least 5 on the night. This game was exciting for Coach McNeil, not only for the back-to-back wins, but for reaching a milestone in his career, recording his 300th win. The Lady Bulldogs' next 2 games are against teams below 500. We'll see if they can continue that momentum and write a happy ending to their season.
Yeah, I can't wait to see if they can improve that final record. Thanks for joining us, Megan. It's been a rough couple of weeks for the Lancers of Federal Hockey, but Rachel Walbrown is here to join me on the desk, and you saw some major improvement from the girls when they hosted River Valley.
There was a big upset on Monday night, Sean, and unlike the boys against Eastern last week, the Lady Lancers came out on top this time around. Coach Jeremy Tolson attributes that win to his team finally digging deep and playing that full 32 minutes. Unfortunately, their record books, I can't say they did the same against Belpre on Thursday. Having 5 players consistently going 100% is something not common for this squad. Now, Destiny Tabler is their go-to girl, but she can't do it alone. For a quarter, though, things began falling into place, along with some sharp 3-point shots. However, fouls and a slacking defense gave Belpre those free points needed to pull ahead. But Tolson might have found a useful tactic, subbing to keep the energy up.
We do have a deep bench, too, so I think that you have the ability to play multiple people, so try and keep them fresh.
It's obvious that this team has great chemistry and the talent needed to win, but they can only go as far as they let themselves go.
Yeah, so it seems like the Lady Lancers are really on the right track, but the boys, they just didn't get that memo.
Sean, I think the bus took the wrong exit on the way to the last few games because they just aren't showing up. The Lancers have not won a game since they faced Nelsonville York on December 23rd. However, they steadily improved their scoring deficit with each matchup. That was until Federal Hockey took on Southern, and let me tell you, things definitely went south. And losing by 25 points in their next game against South Gallia increased their losing streak to 9. This puts the Lancers right back to square one. Turnovers have been both Federal Hockey teams' kryptonite this season, so it was no surprise that the boys struggled with ball control against South Gallia on Tuesday. And when they did manage to take a shot, few actually made it in the basket, which would not be a problem if someone other than Carter Russell would rebound the ball to give the Lancers another shot at the bucket. But these second chances are handed out like candy when Fed Hawk is on defense. As of now, the Lancers are sitting on a 3-13 record, but with Bahama and Eastern rounding out their season, a happy ending can be in Fed Hawk's future.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to climb up those standings. Rachel, thanks for joining us. And with a big win for most teams, there are bound to be players that stuck out. So Danny and Josh are rejoining me now. Guys, we are all eager to see who you picked for Heroes of the Week. So Josh, we'll start with you. Who do you got?
Sean, you're not kidding. Teams have been stepping it up, and some players are really bringing their A game. Young Rachel Richardson is one such player, and that is why she is our Girls Hero of the Week. Now, when I say young, I mean it. Rachel Richardson is only a 14-year-old freshman and is playing with girls 4 years older than her. But that's not stopping her from becoming a leader for this Lady Spartan team. On Monday, she led Alexander's powerful offense with 26 points. She also dished out 3 assists and grabbed 3 rebounds. Now, although Alexander lost this game to Waterford, Coach McKnight said that when she plays aggressive, she's one of their best players. And she took that aggressive play into Thursday's game against River Valley. Richardson put up 20 out of Alexander's 50 points, and she also tallied 5 assists and 3 steals. You know, there's got to be something in that Richardson blood because Alexander, they've got the trifecta going on with Rachel, her sister Leah, and her brother Seth. The good news is that the Lady Spartans will have Rachel around for a long time, and she's only going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, those Richardsons really run things in Alexander. Now for the boys' hero, I had to look to the biggest upset of the week. Flashback to Trimble versus Wahama on Tuesday. This was a thriller. In the final seconds, it was Wahama's Philip Hoffman who got open and nailed the 3 to tie that white-knuckle game, sending it to overtime. And that is why he is the boys' hero of the week. Besides that clutch 3 with 40 seconds left in the game, Hoffman was a key factor in the White Falcons' victory over the Tomcats. He knocked down 22 points against Trimble's in-your-face D, and Hoffman went 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, showing his versatility overcomes tough defenses. On Tuesday night, number 1 was the prime example of leadership, grabbing 8 rebounds and dishing out 6 assists. With this surprising win, the White Falcons now sit at a record of 500, and that right there was the true definition of a heroic performance.
You know, definitely, Danny. If you are out at a game and see someone who you consider a hero, tweet at us using the hashtag HOTW, and we'll add him or her to our Hero of the Week watch list.
Yeah, guys, there's going to be some huge games coming up, so we know that there's going to be some huge performances in those as well. Can't wait to see who you guys are going to pick for your next Hero of the Week. So there you have it, folks. You know how to get in touch with us now, and we have a huge, as I said, we have a huge week of basketball coming up. There's that 3-way tie in the TVC Ohio. We're going to look to see how those teams are all shaking out. And while out at games, you know to use that hashtag HOTW and hashtag TVC Heroes to let us know who is balling out and which teams are making moves towards the postseason. Also, you can remember to look us up at our website, WUB.org/heroes, and our YouTube page, WUB PBS, for nightly recaps. And if you cannot get enough of TVC basketball, you can watch this episode again tomorrow at 6 and next Sunday at 11. But until then, I'm your host, John Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.